whether you're on the Wildleaf channel or you're over on the Poppy Studios channel. But just remember, if you're on Wildleaf, it's all going to be on Poppy Studios from here on out. So episode 50 is it on the Wildleaf channel. So now you got to go follow me over on Poppy Studios.
Hey, it's your host Emily with Poppy Studios. I'm sitting down with fellow creative entrepreneurs as we share our wins, losses, highs, lows, and everything in between that comes from running your own business. So grab a cup of coffee and join the conversation.
This is the Launch Your Biz YouTube channel with Poppy Studios. So welcome. You might be watching in one of two places. So the first place is the old Wildleaf Collab Launch Your Biz YouTube channel. And if you have been following along with me for a minute, you know that Wildleaf used to be its own thing, but now it is an extension of Poppy Studios, my own business. And I did that to make it easier for creatives like you to find the educational content that I have been creating for over a year now. That is crazy, you guys. That is why I'm doing a very special episode 50. 50 episodes, tons of great content, lots of great interviews, guest interviews. That's why I'm making it kind of a transition, because I didn't want all of the excellent content that is over here, depending where you're watching, on the Wildleaf Collab YouTube channel to just disappear. So this Wildleaf Collab channel is going to stay active and stay alive, but it's not going to be updated anymore. So if you're watching on the Poppy Studios channel, go check it out. There's a lot of really great guest interviews that I will eventually be transitioning over. I'm going to bring a few over. Moving forward though, all new educational content is going to be on the Poppy Studios channel. Like I had mentioned, those great guest interviews I've been doing, they're still going to happen. But for this episode, since it's kind of like episode 1 and 50 all wrapped up together, I didn't want to have a guest on. It's just me and my dogs chilling at my house, Bailey and Frank. So if you hear them barking, or if you go back through and look at some of the old episodes, you'll probably see them. Speaking of my dogs, if you've checked out my newly redesigned website, shameless plug, poppystudios.com, I've been really intentional about showing my real life with you and just sharing what I call my passion projects. So it's 3 things that I'm passionate about in my personal life. And I recommend that businesses do this because we all want that authentic mix of our own stories in our businesses. And sometimes it can seem like out of left field when you start sharing that stuff on your business page. And I think we all follow those business pages who share a little bit too much. So I think it's a great thing to kind of proclaim on your website a few things that you're passionate about or that make you you in your personal life. And then that way when you share them on your social media or wherever you're going to share them, it's not like out of left field. Like your clients and new followers expect to hear that kind of thing from you. So I'm going to go over just a few of my passion projects. So the first of which is rescue dogs. I won't get into like the deep detail here, but I have been an adopt, don't shop advocate for many, many years. Probably when I adopted Bailey, who just turned 12. So I got her the day before her first birthday. So for at least 11 years, I have been an adopt, don't shop advocate. I serve on the board for the Animal Shelter Foundation right here in Tallahassee, Florida. It's where I volunteer my time and my talents. And as a business, I recommend that you have a charitable cause that you do the same for. And you've probably heard that you should have some kind of way of like giving back with your business. And that's just one of the ways that I have chosen to really kind of focus my volunteer efforts and a way to give back to a charitable cause. I volunteer my time and my talents, like I said, so I do a lot of their graphic design for their marketing pieces, things like that. And then I'll photograph events too that they have. So that's my why when it comes to my business and my way of giving back is to help rescue dogs. The second is coastlines or beaches, mostly beaches. I moved to Florida in 2012, not knowing anybody. I came with Bailey and my station wagon. I have a Subaru Outback, which is a cross utility wagon. So I have like a modern day station wagon, which makes sense when I get to my third passion project, but more on that to come. So I moved to Florida in 2012 by myself, didn't know anybody, but I just felt called to be near the ocean. Like snow makes me sad. So living in the Sunshine State is a good fit for me. And to just reaffirm that this was the right choice, I met my husband here almost exactly a month after I moved here. So, and then I met my best friend. So it's obviously the right decision for me. My third passion project is it's kind of a few things, but I kind of lump it all into one category of holistic health. I'm a bit of a modern day hippie. I guess you could call me that. I use cruelty-free and organic makeup and body products. I believe that food and wellness can really heal us. I practice yoga and Pilates. I have a garden and I love going to my chiropractor. So those are my kind of 3 passion projects, as I call them. You can check out more about them on my website. And that's just a fun way for me to kind of show you my personal life and things that mean a lot to me in my personal life, in my business too, without it coming like out of left field, being weird for me to share those things. And if you followed along in these videos long enough, I'm sure you've seen like Frank laying on his bed back there, or you've probably heard Bailey barking. I've spoken before about how I was an in-house graphic designer for a few companies straight out of college. And while I loved the people that I met, some of whom really are still friends of mine, I wasn't truly satisfied. And I think a lot of that has to do with being forced to work on just one brand all the time. It just gets boring, quite honestly. And that's no offense to those companies or those people that I met, but those in-house graphic design jobs, as creatives, it's very hard to have to just work on one thing all the time. I think we need a lot of different ways to use our talents. So I'm very thankful for those jobs, but they were boring. But they led me to Florida. I can't complain about those because I was blessed to get a job offer in Tallahassee. They paid for me to move here, and that was pivotal in my business career, my Poppie Studios career and timeline as well. It was because of that job that moved me to Florida that I got connected with some of my really first real clients. I was still side hustling on nights and weekends at that time. So I had a couple weddings that I photographed and family sessions and some logo projects and wedding stationery that I was working on nights and weekends. And those projects, more than anything, yes, they got me excited and helped fill my creative bucket up. But more than anything, they built my confidence up in this fact that, yes, I could make Poppie Studios a legitimate small business. I could do this. I've said it before, and I will say it again and again and again and again. There is no such thing as an overnight success. People who seem to have it all and are the epitome of what you want to be have put in the work for years before being in the position that they are in now. So if you're looking for this get rich quick checklist, you're not going to find it here. And anybody who promises that with whatever thing they're selling you, it's just not true. It's like weight loss, something that I can speak about because I've lost significant and gained it back. And it's successfully maintaining a weight loss takes years and then a lifetime of discipline and dedication. And the same goes for launching a business. It's going to feel slow. It's going to be a tough climb. And there are still days when I think I'm tumbling 10 steps backwards. But I have, because of my years of experience and building this solid foundation, I have a network of frienders, my friend vendors holding me up, and years of experience that have allowed me to hone my craft and carry me through tough times. So if you can mentally prepare yourself and honestly accept that it is going to take work, lots of work, and time, way more time than it seems like it took everybody else, then you can start your own business. I believe that you can be on your way to leaving that 8-to-5 corporate cog and launching your own business. But I'm going to say it again, it takes work and going outside of your comfort zone, meeting new people, putting yourself out there, being honest about what you want and what you need, and not falling into this trap of thinking that it's just going to happen quickly or easily. And this is where I see a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs fail and kind of give up, is they have this new idea, which don't we all, right? We have all of these ideas all the time. Success comes from knowing which ones to pursue, and then the discipline to put in the work and make it happen. And a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs fail because they think they can just throw money at something. Like they can either buy the e-course or buy the new equipment or pay somebody else to do it for them. And then it doesn't happen. They don't get their money. They don't get their return on investment. And so they give up. And I see that time and time again. So that's not the way to do it. You have to put in the work. You do. You have to put in the work to make it happen. So if you really feel like I just felt in my inner being when I realized that Florida was where I wanted to move to, I just knew that was the right choice. I had an inner peace and I had anxiety. And that's because it was outside my comfort zone. So that's why I was nervous and kind of anxious about it. But it was the right choice. And that's why I also was calm about it. So if you feel it like that you can be your own boss and you crave having a successful business, like that's what you're called to do. If you are ready to put in the work, follow through, be consistent, keep showing up, keep trying, then I believe in you. And I know you can do this. What I offer is not quick. The e-course I have takes 7 weeks minimum to go from side hustle to legit small business. And honestly, it took me almost 2 years, 3 years to check off everything on that list that I've covered in my e-course. And it's crazy to think now that it took me that long when it really could have taken me just 7 weeks. But I didn't have a guide with actionable steps that I could mark off as I did them. I didn't have the reassurance that I was doing things the right way or in the right order. And that caused me to kind of just be paralyzed and stay stagnant and fall into this false belief, it's totally not true, that if I became legal or if I got the business bank account and I started filing taxes, that the government was for sure going to see me and they were going to tell me I was doing everything wrong and I was going to get penalized. And it's really the opposite of that. If the government finds out that you've been doing this as a side hustle and you're making 5 or 6 figure incomes, you're going to owe back taxes, and that's going to be a pretty big nightmare once it all comes out into the open. So that's why I'm such a big advocate of just building this foundation, getting legal, doing the bank account, starting the taxes, doing it right, because the government would be much happier if you would just do it right than to hide and be scared and think that you're going to do it wrong. But that's why I made the e-course, because retrospect, hindsight 2020, I realized what order I should have done things and the best way to do them and how to do them. I figured all that out now, and I want to share that with other people, especially as a rising tide leader for my local Tuesdays Together group. I just realized that there is a need for this kind of guidance, and you can Google it all you want, but how confusing is that? You're just going to be stuck on Google and even more confused if you're anything like me. So that's why I offer the e-course. That's why I offer the clarity calls and the one-on-one coaching, because now, having survived it and made it to the other side, it doesn't have to be lonely. It doesn't have to take that long. It's scary. It's still scary, but that's because it's outside our comfort zones. We're creatives. We're not accountants. We're not lawyers. We're not professional organizers, though the guests I have on the show are, and those are great packets of information that you should be watching and listening to. But we're not those things. This shit is hard, guys. It's weird, it's confusing, but it is necessary to having a legit small business. So that's kind of it about me, about what you can expect from launching your own business and from the Launch Your Biz YouTube channel and my podcast. I'm also over on Apple iTunes, so make sure you check that out. So thanks for joining me, whether you're on the Wildleaf channel or you're over on the Poppie Studios channel. But just remember, if you're on Wildleaf, it's all going to be on Poppie Studios from here on out. So episode 50 is it on the Wildleaf channel. So now you got to go follow me over on Poppie Studios. You're going to get a lot of great content. I have a lot of really great guest interviews coming up and just a lot of really great updates to the e-course and figuring things out as we go. I'm here for you. So follow me at Poppie Studios on Instagram. That's mostly where I hang out. And let's get your business launched. See you guys.